everyone, and welcome back to another Storytime video. And today I am going to talk about what happened after the Fire Hydrant of Doom. Now, I originally talked about the Fire Hydrant of Doom, I believe, as the first or second Storytime video that I told way back in 2016. And I retold that story back in 2019, and I talked about what happened before the Fire Hydrant of Doom in 2020. Now, I kind of forgot that I talked about it so much because I felt at that time that it was a bit excessive. Now, what's funny is that I talk about it 3 times in 4 years, and I've gone over 4 years without bringing it up again. So I find that funny. Now, um, so okay, so for a brief recap of what happened during that moment in terms of the Fire Hydrant of Doom is that one day while I was in high school, we had to gather outside because somebody um pulled the fire alarm, and they did that in between classes, in between third class and last class. So that was uh like 1:30, 1:35, something like that. And so we all go outside, and I see a couple of my friends jump over the fire hydrant, and I run up to it, stop, and try to jump over it, but I miss clearing it, and I kind of clipped the top bolt of the fire hydrant, and the pain was so excruciating that I blacked out for a second, and when I came to, I was face down on the ground, and there was a pool of blood um, next to where I was. And all the while, my math and my English teacher, because I had math and English right next to each other, pretty much uh, at that very end, pretty much right next to the door to go outside. And so they were both yelling at me to get up, and um, so the fire hydrant of doom, as I like to call it, really hurt. Needless to say, and I I was not a big fan of that. I was not a big fan of that happening. But yeah, um um so in terms of the aftermath, so I've mentioned this before in the Fire Hydrant of Doom stories, I believe, but I at the time, the dress code for my high school was that um if you had ripped jeans of any kind, you could be written up for being out of dress code. Now, of course, well, I think it was 3 write-ups, and you had in school detention or something like that. I don't remember. It's been, of course, I talked about it way back in 2016, so that gives you perspective in terms of how long this has been. So, um, back then, if you had ripped jeans, you got written up for out of dress code, and uh, that, of course, not good. I definitely did not um, want that. So thankfully, it was December, so I was able to put my jacket around my waist in order to cover up the fact that I had this gaping hole in my jeans, pretty much right at the seam, um, right underneath the zipper. So this ruined a pair of jeans and a pair of underwear. Um, so um, and went to the nurse, and they called my mom, and my mom picked me up, and so went home afterward, and thankfully, no, I did not have to get stitches. I don't know if I've mentioned this um, in either one of the videos where I talk about the fire hydrant of doom, but uh, I did. Well, I do have a permanent scar uh, from this, and so yeah. Now it's not really visible unless you know it's there, but of course, because of the placement, you guys will never see it. That's reserved for like me and me alone. Sorry. That's reserved for me and one other person, basically. But anyway, not to get sidetracked. So, um after going home to after going home that Friday, cuz thank God it was a Friday. Um I now that well the pain was so immense that it did not go away for 4 hours after that until I finally took some ibuprofen. Like I was going to wait for the pain to go away, but it just was not going away. It just was not going away worth anything. So I of course said to take a couple ibuprofen, and that took care of the pain. But what dumb thing I did the next day is that I participated in a Christmas parade where I was walking along the during the parade. Like I was walking on the street in the parade. And yeah, that kind of hurt, but whenever you're throwing candy out to kids and stuff, adrenaline somewhat takes over, and uh it kind of makes it such that you don't um have pain anymore. Now, um for the next 2 or 3 weeks after that, I could not wear jeans because guys, I don't know this about women's jeans, but guys' jeans will have a seam and kind of a tight seam down there. And I did not really know about that, but that, or before this, for some reason, but that seam was always cutting into the scar and into the wound that was what the fire hydrant of doom left. And um so I could not wear jeans, and whenever I wore khakis or some other pants, I had to waddle around like a penguin. Like I could not really bend my knees. Well, I could, but I could not walk with my legs, normal. I had to keep my feet spread out a little bit and then walk that way. Now, of course, I could bend my knees, but the most effective way, whenever your feet are spread out, to really walk is to kind of keep your legs straight and kind of lean into it a little bit. So, sorry, my throat's getting dry. So, that definitely happened, and yeah, so I don't think I have really talked in depth about um what happened after the fire hydrant of doom. I think back in 2020 or 2020 or 2021 I was going to talk about what happened after the fire hydrant of doom, but I kind of simply forgot, I guess. Um so I didn't until today. But yeah. Um and CS guys, I do believe that that will do it for this storytime video and Sonic storytime video. I will see you later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you all for watching. And